One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Good morning, Eagles, and welcome to school on Monday, August the 24th. It is a super exciting day and the start of a new school year. Whether you're joining us in person or whether you are joining us electronically via distance education, we welcome you back to an exciting new school year. Let's start off by having a look at the upcoming week. Let's take a look at this special edition of Armstrong in Action. All right, so the first thing that we wanted to talk about for our special COVID procedures are these. These are our masks. And as you know, everybody will be wearing a mask every day at school, anytime they're in the building. The only times you get to take a break from your mask are PE if the teacher says it's okay, and also at recess when you're socially distancing from other kids and you're outside. But whenever you're in the hallway, on the school grounds before school, after school, you're always going to be wearing your mask. Now, Mrs. Draper is going to demonstrate how to wear a mask properly.
Make sure it's covering your nose and under your chin so you're not breathing on anyone. It's around your ears so it's not hurting you and it's staying nice and snug during the day. And you'll notice that my mask is on a little lanyard. That's so once I get outside during recess, or if the PE teacher said I can take my mask off, I can take it off and it's just hanging down around my neck, so then I can play recess, I can do the PE activities without a mask, and then as soon as the bell rings, I line up on my line and I put my mask back on. I make sure that it's covering my nose and my chin and behind my ears, and then I never lose my mask.
Your teachers will be giving you a lanyard on the very first day of school that you can use to hook to your mask, and it'll hook right there so you don't lose your mask when you're at recess or lunch. One other thing to be aware of with masks, you'll be taking your mask back and forth from school every single day. You can clean your mask every single night. You can just go to the sink, use a little bit of soap, use a little bit of water, rinse it out really good. Make sure to squeeze it so that it's nice and dry, and then hang it up to dry overnight, and it should be ready for the next day. We'll be giving you at least one mask to begin the school year, and we'll be giving you several masks as the school year progresses. But my guess is that a lot of you have some extra masks from home. And if you can't wash out your mask every night, it's a good idea to just have a few and rotate through them so you're not using the same mask over and over.
The lanyard stays at school, but the masks go home to wash so you can use a new mask every day so it's clean and ready for the day.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about being in the hallways. We have nice wide hallways here at Armstrong. We're gonna make sure that we're doing some things to keep everybody safe and relatively socially distanced when they're in the hallway. So here they are. Everybody say this with me. Second tile, single file. Ready? Go. I did not hear you. We're gonna try again. Second tile, single file. Go.
Second tile, single file.
Thank you. So second tile, single file means that I'm going to count out from the wall 2 tiles. So I do 1, 2, and I'm on the second tile out here. So this is the second tile, and I'm single file. So that means I'm always going to be 2 tiles out from the wall, and I'm going to be walking in a single file from the people in front of me. So everybody in the school, from the youngest kids to the older kids, are going to be walking second tile, single file. Now you want to make sure that while you're moving, you're keeping at least 2 tiles between you and the person in front of you. So you make sure if the person in front of you is there, you're tracking so that you're 2 tiles in front. Also, when you're traveling in the hallways, it's important that you have your hands under control. You cannot be touching the walls or any other surfaces while you're walking in the hallway. So it's important to keep your hands in control on your person, and your teacher will go over their expectations about exactly what that looks like. You'll be moving in the hallways, second tile, single file. Now also, as you're moving through the hallways, students, please be aware that as 2 classes come near each other in the hallway, we're going to ask that the younger class has the right of way. So that means if 4th grade and 6th grade meet each other in the hallways, then 4th grade gets to go first, 6th grade will wait for them. We will only ever be single file when we're in the hallways. So if we've got several classes going, we'll stagger out. There's only ever going to be 1 class with 1 row in that hallway. We don't ever want to create a bunch of people in the hallway. It's always going to be second tile, single file, and a nice single file line. Now students, I hope that one day all of you will learn how to drive, and perhaps you'll drive fancy sports cars, and perhaps you'll call up your old principal and say, would you like to come take a ride in my fancy sports car? And I look forward to that. But anyway, for the time being, there's no time like the present to begin to learn how to drive. So one of the most important rules that you have to remember when you're driving is that you always drive on the right side of the road. That's always going to be the case when we're moving in lines in the hallway. You will move on the right-hand side of the hallway. So make sure you get your right hand. If you're right-handed, this is your right hand. And whenever you're in a hallway, think second tile, single file on the right. The right side of the road is the right side of the road. Hello, Eagles. It is I, Mr. Sorensen, here in the bathroom of Neil Armstrong Academy. We're going to talk about something very important. Everybody has to use the bathroom from time to time, and we encourage that. But it is really important that every time you use the bathroom, you wash your hands and wash your hands properly. So I'm going to show you the proper method for washing your hands. Come with me here. So this is our hand washing station here at Armstrong, and I'm going to demonstrate how it's done. We're going to use the ABC song to make sure that I'm washing my hands for the appropriate amount of time. So I'm going to begin by coming over here with one hand, taking 1 squirt of soap, and then I'll be rubbing your hands. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, Q, R, S, T, U, W, X, Y, Z. Okay, see, that's not what you say with me. Now I'm done. Now, here's where it becomes important. My hands are now clean, but they're also very wet. So before I go to our new towel dispensers, I'm going to shake my hands off, and I'm going to do it 12 times. Count with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That gets most of the water off my hands. So they're still wet, but they're much drier than they were. That helps us save paper towel, which is really important because we really don't want to run out. Now I'm going to come over to our fancy new touchless paper towel dispenser, and I'm going to have it give me 1 sheet of paper towel. Check it out. And there it is. I will take it and I will pull it. Now if your hands haven't been shaken off and it's too wet, you won't be able to grab it and it won't tear off because your hands are too wet. So it's important to shake your hands off. Once you get your paper towel, fold it in half. That's important. This is about science. It's called vascular traction. It has to do with 2 layers drying your hands way better than 1 layer will. So fold the paper towel in half, trust in the science of vascular traction, and then you're just going to take and wipe your hands off on that one piece of paper towel. One little piece is all you need to dry your hands. My hands are much bigger than your hands in most cases, and my hands are now perfectly dry. And then you're gonna take this, come over to the garbage can, which is right here, throw it carefully in, and then head back to class. We are here at the Grand Stairway, and everybody at Armstrong at some point or another during the day has to go up and down the stairs. Our upper grade students go up and down the stairs much more than our lower grade students do, but at some point during the day we all do. Now, we have trained all of our Eagles for their own safety to make sure that they're holding onto the handrail when they go up and down the stairs. And we'll continue to do so because we don't want anybody falling and getting hurt. So we have you use the handrail. Here's the trouble. To stop the spread of COVID-19, it's very important that we keep our hands clean at all times. We will wipe down this handrail many times during the day, but there's no way we can wipe it down enough times to keep it perfectly clean at all times. So this is very important. Whenever you have used the staircase and have touched the handrail with your hands, I need you to remember that your hand is now dirty. I want you to imagine your hand being very dirty after it's touched this handrail. That means that when your hands are dirty, you're not going to touch your face, you're not going to touch your mask, you're not going to touch any of those things while your hands are dirty. And your hands, you're going to imagine them being dirty until you have had a chance to use hand sanitizer to wash them. Now, depending on your teacher, they all have a system in place for how you're going to sanitize your hands. We have put sanitizing stations at the top and bottom of every staircase in the building that you can use hand sanitizer, and then after that, then your hands will be clean again and you can touch your face and mask and adjust those things. But remember, once you've touched the handrail, you've got to remember that your hand is dirty until you've used sanitizer, and you will use sanitizer every single time after you have used the stairs. All right, Eagles, let's talk a little bit about the cafeteria. We're going to be doing lunch down here in our beautiful lunchroom, as we have always done. And so if you're coming down with your class in line and you have brought a lunch from home, you will just go straight in this door and peel away from your line. If you're taking school lunch on a given day, you'll proceed down to these doors here. You will proceed straight through here as directed by your teacher. You will pick up your lunch choice from the lunch counter in a single file line. You will select a milk or a chocolate milk from here, and then you will come into the lunchroom. Once in the lunchroom, we will have the lunch table spread out, and in fact, we're using the whole lunchroom plus half of the gym as our new lunchroom this year so that we can spread people out. Your teachers will work with you to create a seating chart for the lunchroom, and so we will ask you to go straight to your assigned seat and you will eat lunch at your assigned seat. We'll change up those assigned seats many times, and so if you're not by your bestest friend forever, it's okay. At some point you will be. It'll work out. Don't worry about it. But we do have to have everybody sitting at an assigned seat in the lunchroom so that we can know who you're sitting next to at all times and know where you are. So we ask that you go directly to your assigned seat and sit there. Now, one other change, when we excuse you from lunch, you will not be going out these doors as you've done in the past. Instead, you will be going up and over to the gym side, and you'll be exiting out the gym doors to go to the playground or back to class. So that is a change from what we have done in the past, but we will direct you on exactly how to do it on the first day of school. So let's talk a little bit about recess and recess time. I know that's everybody's favorite thing. The first thing I want to talk about is at lunch recess, what to do with your lunch box. A lot of our students bring lunch boxes from home for lunch. We are going to have 6 large wire shelves set out right here underneath what is essentially Mrs. Coates' class and this wall here. And we will invite you to place your lunch on the lunch rack in its own specific spot. On the first day down at the lunchroom, I will show you exactly what that looks like, but each lunch will need to have its own spot on the lunch rack. So you'll put your lunch right there on that lunch rack, and that's where it will live while you're playing out at recess. And now while we are playing out at recess, we're still gonna have playground balls, we're still gonna have jump ropes, we're still gonna have hula hoops, we'll have hoppy toss, we'll have all kinds of equipment out here for you to play with. You can even play on the big piece of equipment, but here's the most critical thing to remember about the playground. We're gonna wipe down that piece of equipment, we're gonna wipe down those playground balls, we're gonna wipe down the hula hoops and the jump ropes and all of that stuff. But we can't wipe it down enough to make sure that your hands are clean. So this is important. While you're out here on the playground, whenever you touch a piece of equipment, you need to imagine again that your hands are dirty, okay? And you need to keep in your mind, oh, I can't touch my face because my hand is dirty at this time. And you will not touch your face or eat anything or do anything like that until you've had a chance to sanitize your hands. And your teachers will help you sanitize your hands. If you're going into the lunchroom or if you're going back into the building to go to class, we'll have an opportunity for you to sanitize your hands at that time. But please make sure that you're remembering that your hands are dirty while you're out here on the playground. We will clean your hands when you come back in the building. Before and after schools and when we're lining up at recess, we are going to be in our designated line areas, and your teachers will show you exactly where those are. Hopefully with the signage and everything, you were able to find yours this morning, but you will stand in your designated line area. Now this is important. Your line has to be single file, and then you're going to use airplane hands to make sure that you're far enough away from the people in front and behind you to make sure that you are okay. If you can touch them with your hands, then you're too close. So make sure you're giving them that space so that they can be socially distanced. When you're invited to come into the building, somebody will have propped the doors open, and there'll be either a student or a teacher assigned to do that, and make sure that you maintain a single file line with space all the way into the doors and all the way into the building. It's critical that we keep a single file line with adequate space in between anytime we're moving in and out of the building to prevent congestion and crowding. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, Eagles, is the end of our day. Now, unlike times in the past where it's kind of been the bells rung and everybody just kind of runs and goes where they need to go, we need to be a little bit more orderly as we exit the building at the end of the day. And so your teachers will be escorting you out of the building in a single file line, second tile, single file with appropriate spacing. Okay, so we ask that you move in an orderly fashion and follow your teacher's direction as you do it. Once you get to your designated exit in the building, then we need you to walk with your mask on to your designated pickup area. That means if you take the bus, you'll walk back to where the buses are directly. If you are walking home, then you will exit the grounds directly. If you are being picked up by somebody in an automobile, you'll have an assigned pickup and drop-off area based on the first letter of your last name. It will be out there, and you will be picked up out there, but we want you to go straight to that location. That means we're not playing around with friends or looking for other people or throwing a ball around. Unfortunately, the times when we can do that are kind of at an end for the time being. We just have to make sure that everybody's safe, and safety is critical, and that means that we need you to go directly to your exit point in the building. We need you to go straight to your bus or your pickup or straight to your walking home, just to make sure we don't have any clumping of people or any possibility of spreading the virus. That's it for us. Thanks for watching. This was ABC News.